Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sarah, and today I'm going to show you how to get my beachy waves. I'm going to show you some tips and techniques that I have kind of done over time to be able to kind of get that PC look that doesn't look too curled. So if you want to find out how to get this look, keep on watching. So for the first step in my curling hair routine is I put in a kind of like a volumizer, texturizer, just to kind of give my body some, to give my hair some fullness and a little bit of grit. I'm obsessed with the Kevin Murphy Anti-Gravity, but another great one is by Bumble and Bumble. It is called, let me grab it. Yes. The Bumble and Bumble All Style Blow Dry Cream. They're both creams. This one I love also because it helps me to extend my my hair for a few extra days without getting super oily, as does this one. They both kind of do the same thing. This one says for fine hair, but I have thick hair and it works great. So today I'm going to use the Kevin Murphy because I'm just obsessed with it. So I use about probably like a nickel sized amount and kind of run that through the crown, the side, and the top of my hair. And it definitely wasn't enough. That's like another nickel sized amount. I'm definitely not shy with that product by any means. Next, I'm gonna comb through my hair, distribute all of that product evenly. Okay, and then at the end, you can put, ooh, my battery's gonna run out. I'll be right back. Okay. So then I put kind of this is a leave-in conditioning spray just on the ends because I am gonna blow dry a little bit of my hair. You can put on an oil or any kind of a leave-in conditioning spray. I just put just a tad on because I don't want my hair to get too way down. This stuff smells so good, you guys. Ooh, it's so good. So good. Okay, so I do this a variety of ways. I find for the most like texture and grit and fullness, it's a loud car going by. It works best if I blow dry my hair to kind of activate the anti-gravity or any kind of texturing, voluming spray or gel that I put in. But I definitely still do the same technique with hair that I've gone to bed wet and woken up in the morning. Today, because I don't need to be anywhere for a little while, I'm gonna go ahead and dry my hair at the top and, you know, kind of dry a little bit of the ends, but I'm gonna allow my hair to air dry as much as possible. There are times when I dry the entire hair when I don't have time to let it air dry. So again, you can do this in a variety of ways. You can do it with dried hair that hasn't been blown dry, and you can do it with freshly blow dried hair, and you can do it with, you know, like I'm gonna do, partially blow dry it, wait a little while, and when it's fully dry, come back and curl it. I always find that this style looks great the day of, but the next day it looks so good with a little bit of recurling. So it's something that can last you, you know, 2 or 3 days. So I use my blow dryer and a round brush to kind of make sure I have cowlicks right here so it can kind of get straight and to kind of lift my hair up to give it a little bit of volume. All right, this is the hair. Towards the end, I'm gonna go upside down and dry it just again to get some more volume because I like me some volume. So I'm gonna let the rest of my hair air dry. I'm mostly focused on the top and a little bit underneath because that always takes the longest to dry. So yeah, it's just the way I like it. So once it's dry, I'll come back and show you how I curl my hair. Okay, I am back, and as you can see, one, I've changed and I put makeup on because I'm gonna film a video after this, but my hair is dry. So I have a few tools. One is like These are just like little clips. I think I got them at TJ Maxx or Marshall's. You can really find them anywhere, and you don't have to have them because I also use like hair ties. Depending on the thickness of your hair, you will need to do it in layers. So I usually do about 3 or 4. If you have thinner hair, you might be able to get away with 2 or 3. So that just is your own preference on how you like to curl the hair. So the first part is just kind of the underneath. So I'll show you about how much hair is there. So you can kind of see this is the amount of hair that I have. And I use a 1 1/4 inch curling iron. You can use 1 inch, you can use 1 1/2, just depending on your hair. I think that this works the best. Sometimes when I curl my friends with thinner hair or hair that's not going to hold curl as much, I will use the 1 inch. I do not spray before or anything like this. I just do this on freshly washed hair. And so the trick is that one is we're going to alternate the curl going away from your face and towards your face. So one of the things you always kind of want to remember is anything that's framing your face is always going to be away. So what I mean by away is I'm going to take this and you're going to curl, take the clamp and curl away. Now, another tip for you on how I get my kind of beachy wave curls is one, I always start at the top of the hair. Top of the hair, pull and curl. Pull and curl, pull and curl. And you can see I leave some hair out. I leave about 1/2 inch to 1 inch, and I try not to be super precise in making sure that every hair piece, let me pull this out. And then when you're ready to pull it out, I pull down and you can see I drag it through my hair. What that does is it straightens out that last piece, which gives it that kind of beachy wave that we're kind of looking for. So it's curled and then straight at the bottom. The reason why I'm telling you also is not to worry about having the exact amount out each time is that again is going to give your hair more dimension and not look so perfectly curled. It's going to give it more of that beachier wave. So then we'll try it again. This time I'm doing, so I did away from the face, now I'm going towards the face. So that means the clamp goes in the back. And again, same. Oh, I just got like so much of my hair. Okay, so start at the, close to the crown or to the scalp and just kind of curl, leave some out. See, this probably has a little bit more than the other one. So I'm going to show you close up how I do it. So I'm using the clamp and slowly releasing the clamp. When I get to the bottom, I use it to straighten it out. Now the reason too of going alternating curls is that if you do your curls all the same way, it's like you do them all the way from your face, which is a totally fine look. I've totally done that before. Your curls will kind of fall into each other because they're all kind of going the same way. When you do them alternating, they're going to sit kind of like on top of each other and be a little bit piecier, which is the look that I am showing you today. And you don't have to be precise in like 1 away, 1 toward, 1 away, 1 toward. You can mix and match. If you forget, just go away. That's going to give your style more of that kind of slept in beachy look. We're not looking for like Shirley Temple curls. So I'm doing this one away from the face, hold it, and then you can kind of see a little bit how I do it on this one. So I'm going to get in a little closer. So I'm ready. So you can kind of see how I kind of toggle it, and when it gets to the bottom I kind of let go and pull it down. So I'm going to continue doing that on this side. Okay, so the bottom layer is done. I take about an inch to a 2-inch span of hair at a time, just depending on what I feel like doing. Again, you don't have to be perfect, and each piece is an inch or an inch and a half or 2 inches. The goal is that each one looks very different. So again, don't stress about that. So again, I'm a little bit loosey-goosey more on the bottom, and as I get a little bit more to the top, I typically do a little bit of a smaller piece. Now, I said I don't put hairspray in my hair because my hair tends to hold curl pretty well, but you can use hairspray if your hair does not hold. That's totally fine. And then what I do is to make sure that I've gotten the end is I just kind of look in the mirror and from the back. So I just kind of do this. And then again, if you forget a piece, you can curl it, or sometimes I'm like, oh, there's a straight piece. No big deal, it's fine. So then what I do is I kind of, you don't want to play with them too much. You want the curls to actually cool before you touch and play with them. So I just take one of these clips, and again, you can use a hair tie too. And I get ready for the next section. This just kind of helps me have a better curl. And I just prefer to use to work on smaller sections. And this time I'm going to start from the back. It doesn't really matter. I started in the front on the bottom just to show you. It's harder to show you from the back, but I'm going to do the same thing, alternating pieces of hair. And that same technique of when I release it, pulling down and straightening that bottom piece. And then always remembering kind of that last piece of hair that's closest to your face always goes away. That's just more flattering to the face and to your curl, that all of them that are framing your face go away. The technique that we are working on is, again, straightening that bottom piece. This piece I did not straighten, and I'm just by default I just pulled it out without it, but I wanted to show you, see how like the ends do this, like kind of like it's gonna curl this part where this part is straight. That's how I obtain a more beachy look. If you do a few that are like this, like don't go over them, don't put more damage on your hair. It's totally fine. It's, again, adding to that not so Shirley Temple kind of look. But that's basically why, and after a lot of trial and error, that I've learned it's best to like flat iron that bottom piece. I'm calling it flat iron, but straighten that bottom piece out. Okay, today I'm going to do 4 sections. If I was in a hurry, I'd probably do 3. But I got time today for the sake of the video. At the last part of the hair, this is where I do things a little bit differently. One, find your part how you want to part it. So the whole away and towards your face is not something that I invented. It's not new. Many people do this, and I've experimented it over and over. There was a time where I did always away. There was a time that I did the alternating back and forth, and I found I wasn't liking the back and forth, the in and out technique at all. I just didn't like the way that my hair was laying. I know that I'm telling you, like, the reason why is because they're not laying into each other, because they're kind of on top of each other for that beachier, fuller wave. And I just kept finding that I didn't like the way it looked. And how I solved that problem is at this very last top layer, for me, the most flattering curl that I like is doing the whole top layer away. So instead of alternating on these last pieces, all of them go away. And for some reason, I like the way that it lays flat, but still has that fullness, because everything else is alternating. So I just was finding that I'd get these like weird like curls, and I don't know, you guys, I just didn't like it. So if you've tried the alternating way and you didn't love it, try this technique. And if you haven't, just try this technique in general and try the other one, and you may prefer one or the other. Also, what I like to do is I like fullness. I got the crown, my hair lies really flat. It lies really flat. So what I tend to do is these ones kind of in the back, instead of pulling it to the side and curling, I'm using the same technique. Let me make sure I have. But I use it, I'm gonna have to like bend down so you guys can see, but I hold the hair up. It's a little bit tricky because you want the curl to still, the hair to be, there we go, kind of the same, but I just hold it like this. And this will give me a little bit of volume. So I'm still having that piece out. Again, if you don't want volume or this part is a little bit tricky, don't do it. You don't have to. I mean, and then I kind of pull it sideways. And that one I didn't pull out straight, and that's totally fine. So kind of all of them around this area, I kind of do it that way, where I'm kind of like using the same technique, but kind of holding it up and like away from me, just to create a little bit of volume. Not necessary, but that's what I like to do. Okay, so I'm going to continue. I'm going to do one more kind of here. That one's a little bit big. See like the volume that one created? I love it. And that kind of, what also helped that was using that kind of texturizing. Ooh. You guys, if you messed up, I can't do it on the camera. There you go. You guys mess up, just come again. It was hard for me to look in the camera and do it. So yeah, hold it. Kind of. So, okay, so I'm gonna curl the rest of them just strictly away from my face. The last section on this side. What I like to do is just go ahead and take this and not start at the nape. I start about halfway down. So just for these like kind of two last pieces, I just start halfway through the hair shaft. And this is just makes it for a little bit more flattering around your face. Because of my part, I don't have that much hair. Always curl on this particular side. So you can get the one that's not framing my face, I still start at the top. And then this is the last piece on this side that frames the face, and I'll start halfway down the hair shaft. Just flattering, and you don't get a crazy curl. So again, I usually just kind of straighten that out. That was killing me. So halfway down the shaft. So. And if you get too high up, you can always take like a flat iron and straighten that piece and then pull it out. And you're done. And the hair is done. You are going to let it cool. Do not touch it. Don't touch it. Okay, so my curls are sufficient. So my curls are, oh my gosh, so my curls are sufficiently cool. They have a light dusting of hairspray. Oh my gosh, this one's like, I'm loving. So this is very technical, so watch closely. So I just kind of like run my fingers through it. You guys, that's it. And then you get this kind of beachy kind of texture, which I love. And then what I do is I'm using the Kevin Murphy Do Over Dry Powder, which is kind of like it's a finishing hairspray. So it kind of gives it grit, it gives it some volume. You can also use like a salt spray, like this Bumble Surf Infusion, or I used, you can use dry shampoo, or Living Proof makes a really good volumizer texturizer. So what I kind of do with this is just lift up hair and spray. This doesn't have any white residue. And I just kind of because it's some serious volume. And then the last thing I do is, because we added, I'm just letting that kind of rub in, because we added heat to it, hairspray, you know, that dry shampoo, which can give it that grittiness. I like to take, I'm gonna take this Way rose hair and body oil that I got from like a Sephora play, and I rub it, and it smells so good, in between my hands, and just get the tips so it doesn't look like, this hair is like everything to me right now. Love it. Just so that it doesn't look too dry at the ends. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye.